Hello, this is Rick Hunt, co-host of Moccasin Tracks. This afternoon, we have an interviewee. Our guest will be Debra Spears Moorehead. This was her all-female group, Netkush. Debra is a fine artist, painter, sculptor, Native American consultant, historian, culture bearer, storyteller, musician, composer, performer, and author. She belongs to the Seekonk Pokanoket Wampanoag tribal nation. She holds a master's degree in culturally sustainability and a BFA. She is a descendant of Massasoit, the 1620 supreme sachem of the Pokanoket nation who saved the pilgrims from starvation. She also descends from the Narragansett, Mohawk, Cherokee, and Nipmuc and Pequot sachem Sassacus. As Fellis John Sassamon, a Harvard-educated Massachusetts Indian, Deb authored the books Finding Balance, the Oral and Written History and Genealogy of Massasoit's People, and 4 Directions at Waybosset Crossings. Both books are available at Amazon.com. Her work serves to educate, assert, promote, value, and validate the identity of the past, present, and future generations of the Eastern Woodland tribal nations. Her art is homeland-based, and every piece has a unique story. Welcome, Debra.
To have you here with us. Thank you for joining us at our community radio station, North Country Community Radio. It's been really fun looking at your art on your website, and so beautiful, Debra. Rick has just read a little bit about your bio. Would you like to add anything else?
Well, I'm a finalist for MIT Solve, and I'll know that tomorrow. And my son is, I'm supposed to get a new grandson by noon, so I may be.
Oh, wow.
He was supposed to be here by noon. I haven't heard anything, so she must be still in labor.
Oh, but, wow. How exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting, but I haven't heard anything, so.
Yeah.
Last I heard, they said he would be here by noon, but haven't heard anything since then.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
That's great.
Yeah.
For a safe delivery. Safe and healthy boy, baby boy.
We've been playing some of the music from your CD. Could you tell us a little bit about your group, Netkush?
Netkush, where it means sisters in Nipmuc language. We met in, I think it was 1996. At Deer Island Memorial Native American ceremony, and it was a social. The Nipmucs have a memorial ceremony every October because in 1675, right before King Philip's War, the leaders of Massachusetts Bay Colony thought that even the Christian Indians might join in the war. So, assuage their fears, in October 1675, they gathered all the Nipmucs and Wampanoag, men and women and children, onto Deer Island until the war was over. But the problem was is that they didn't give them any wood for fires, no blankets, no food. So 500 Native people starved to death. And so they have a memorial of the people that are the descendants of the ones that survived. They have the memorial every year on Deer Island. And that's where I met P.M. Ellis, Dolores Hazard, Jetta Silas. And we decided to that we all could sing, and so we thought that we should bring traditional Eastern Woodland songs back to our people. So we decided to learn, teach, and sing, perform the traditional songs. So our mission is to we learn from anyone who knows the Eastern Woodland songs, and we teach them, and so it's like a 7-generation program. We prepare for the next 7 generations, so we're teaching everyone to be able to know these songs for 7 generations. And so there's about 35 Netikush singers, women that have learned the songs from us or taught the songs to us. And we've been singing at lots of venues since, I'd say, about 1996, let's see, since the year about 2000. After we practiced for like 4 to 5 years, we started singing. We sang at venues like Brown University, Georgetown, Rhode Island School of Design, the Trinity Repertory Theater, Mashantucket Pequot Museum, Skimitzen, Narragansett Nation, Mohegan Nation, New Eton School, New Bedford Whaling Museum. We did blessing ceremonies for Paul Coffey Memorial National Park, Boston Harbor National Parks, George's Island, and many more. Smithsonian, Saratoga Music Festival, Peabody Museum, Harvard. I could just go on and on. Roger Williams. So we've been performing, and we're still performing. We perform a lot on Indigenous Day, which is coming up October 10th in Massachusetts. So that's what we're about.
Wow, you're busy.
Yeah, that's just a thing. Mm-hmm.
With the songs, a lot of times goes a story, and you consider yourself also, the storyteller and also a traditional dancer. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, as an artist, whenever I do a painting or a drawing, I'm usually inspired by the story that it comes with. So, like a man that just passed away a little while ago, he taught me a song that came through oral traditions from when the sailboats were coming up the bay, the song that they sang. So that song has a story that goes with it. This song that I'm going to sing to you that I wrote just this year, the story's in the song. The song that I wrote, 7 Generations, is all about being a descendant of Massasoit in the celebration of our survival, resilience and survival. Let's see, another one is Someone, and that's about my friends that had met over here, and they asked me to write them a song about, them meeting in their love to sing at their wedding. A lot of my paintings are about social injustice, or it's telling the story of something that happened in history. So yeah, everything has a unique story. Or I love stories of resilience and resistance.
It's so beautiful. We did play Someone just to start the show off. And it's like just a beautiful love song. I really enjoyed it. And played it for myself a few times when I first got your CD. So we really appreciate that. We love how you use your art as a voice for social justice. And like you said, it's your inspiration, and there's usually a story that goes with it. You also wrote a book about your Wampanoag tribal nation, Finding Balance, the genealogy of Massasoit's people, and oral and written history of the Seekonk, Pakanaket, Wampanoag tribal nation. Um, you know, finding the time to do all this is just really amazing to me. And I just want to thank you for, your work and dedication to this work. Can you tell us a little bit more about your book?
Well, you say that like everybody thinks that I'm very prolific, that I'm doing all these things. I do work 24. I don't even go to sleep. I love to do my work because I have a passion for it. But I do go to sleep. It's just that I started when I was like really young, drawing because I would ask all the questions. My grandparents and parents would tell me to draw so that they didn't have to answer the questions, because the questions that I were asking were very loaded questions because I was asking them what happened. Why can't I see our nation? Like, where are the people that look like us? Why are we like the only family in the city that look like us? And so those questions the answers were because there was a genocide here, and we're the ones that survived. And so and a lot of the times when I asked the questions, they didn't have the answers. So it was easier for them to just say, can you just go draw some pictures? Like, get that and draw it. So, I began studying drawings around 4 or 5 years old. And at school, going to school 6 years old, I was still asking those questions. And, there was an erasure in the curriculum. So, the questions didn't get answered, and maybe I might have had one or two diverse teachers that would at least give me some kind of answer. So, but not often. So I was always fighting this identity erasure that said that Eastern Woodland people weren't here anymore. They were extinct, or hardly any of them were there. And I mean, that's one thing to be told that, but then the history on top of it is so obscured that even if you know that, you got to really dig really deep into research to find the answers. So that's what I did for my whole life. And then, Native people knew that what I was doing. One woman was going to Goucher College for a master's in cultural sustainability, and she said, Debra, what I'm learning is what you're doing in your life. So she says, why don't you apply? And I did, and they accepted me. And so that's when I decided for my capstone to write a book, which I wanted to use for our federal recognition narrative, of all the information that I had since I was 6 years old, of just researching. Because between in my 60s, I wrote the book when I was like 53, so that's like 40 something years. A lot of the information that I had obscured, and it was all over the place, it all fell together, and I got to see it in a lineal way. And then with my degree, the professors taught me to put my research down, in chronological order, that made it easier to understand, all the pieces put together. And then it was also really hard to write the book because I had like maybe 4 or 5 different people that are born like 1780s, 1800s, and how do you write about all of them when they're all in different locations, but they didn't. So I decided to write the history starting from each location where the people were connected to that land in culture, which is all in the East Coast, and then show how they came together and how the royal bloodline always, found itself like water seeking its own level. So that's how I wrote the book.
Oh, wow. Oh, just congratulations on it all. It's just beautiful. I wanted to just mention one more thing is that you are really known internationally and you exhibited at the gallery in Bolivia. Can you talk about like how did you arrive there?
Well, I show my art all over, and I was at a gallery, and the gallery asked me if I'd like to exhibit there. So I said, sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Uh, um, that's so good. Rick also is an artist, an Abenaki artist, and
Wow.
yeah. So I thought maybe you might have some questions for Deborah.
Well, first, I think it's wonderful that you embrace drawing and creating at such an early age, and that you were encouraged by family members, even though they told you just to go draw something. Um, uh, I'm always intrigued when I meet someone who is a musician and a visual artist. For me, I think that visual art and music kind of go hand in hand anyways. And I commend you. What I have seen of your visual art is incredibly stunning and detailed, and speaks whole stories, like the cover of your album, Greatest Hits. And I just want to thank you.
Well, thank you, and I want to thank the Abenaki people for at one point at Odenak they kept King Philip's son from being sold into slavery. So yeah, we have that connection. Do you what branch of the Abenaki are you? Where's your home? Like, are you Vermont?
I'm in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I'm Western Abenaki,
Yeah.
and also a splash of Shawnee and Montagnais.
Wow. Cool. I'd love to see your art too. Do you exhibit?
I yes and no. Um, I my work is quite different from yours. It's for lack of a better description, I would say it's pop psychedelic. Um,
Okay.
that being because I worked with David Bowie's first wife. I illustrate a lot of books for her, and we work together and have been working together for about 12 years. So it's
What's the
sort of
name of the books? I'd like to get one.
sure. Angie Bowie wrote a book about her cats. She loves her cats, and the book is called Cat Catastrophe. And it's a true story about her cats, and I illustrated it. And it's a coloring book as well. The other books that I've done with her are basically my own illustrations, and we have Gaucho Visions and Visions Volume 2, and there's a coffee table art book coming out any day. I've been told
Wow.
this for 5 years, so.
How did she find you like that?
Of all places, on Facebook.
No, sir.
Yeah, I used to just scan my drawings and slap them on my page so people could just, have a conversation with them. And one day I saw that she had liked a couple of my drawings, and I said, well, that really can't be her. It's probably somebody using her name or something. But it was Angie, and she contacted me, and we've been working together ever since.
Wow. That's so cool. What a cool story.
Yeah.
I want to see your Facebook. Can you tell me the exact name to look for on Facebook?
Yep, just look under my name, Rick Hunt. Right now, there's a profile picture of me smirking with a black-eyed Susan flower sticking out of my beard.
Okay. All right, I'll look it up. I can see it.
I'd like
Wow.
to add
Music.
something. Rick has curated exhibits at the Abbey Museum, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
really beautiful, and that I knew you would know of. And I think you have a few pieces on permanent exhibit there.
A couple.
I know, but
Yeah.
I have I did perform there right before the pandemic, and I've exhibited like they had an outdoor art show.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
what's his
Yeah.
name? Chris Newell used to work at the Pequot Museum where I work.
Yeah.
He was I think he was maybe the director for a very short time. I don't think he's directing anymore. But the Abbey Museum, that's a great museum.
Yeah. He has a wonderful mural there that's on permanent exhibit.
Rick, you do?
Yeah.
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 Wow.
So you might be able to find a picture of it on the Abbey Museum website.
Okay, I'll be looking.
Yeah.
Please friend me on Facebook. I would love to be able to
Oh, yeah, I
connect with
definitely
you
will.
and see
Yeah.
more of your work as well.
Sure.
Yeah. So Deborah, you'll be exhibiting this summer. Do you get out to some of the social powwows, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm a artist in residency for Brown University, so I'm working on 4 murals, and it's really a tight deadline. Like I have to have 4 done by October 3rd, and I have 2 done. So I have August and September to finish 2, and it'll take me that long to finish them. They're 6 feet by 8 feet, and so yeah. So I usually go to a lot of powwows, but I haven't been able to because of this deadline. I'm booked for the Shinnecock powwow on Labor Day weekend, and I'd like to be the Narragansett one is this weekend. I might just go and do a missing and murdered Indigenous women dance. It's like ceremony at the Narragansett one. The Narragansett powwow, but that's about all for the August meeting. And then Shinnecock, and then I'm getting these murals finished, and from there on, it's just like October's all full with performances for Indigenous Day,
Yeah.
and I'm supposed to be the artist in residency at Bunker Hill, and like there's people in Connecticut that want me to do their murals, and people in Shelburne Falls that want me to fix them. It's just there's a lot. But in the meantime, I'm a MIT Solve. That means a Massachusetts. I can't even think of it right now. Massachusetts Institute for Technology. They have a Solve grant for solving a problem. So I'm finalist to get a grant to help me fund a Native American tourism company, the Turtle Island Native American Tourism Company, to do tours of places that matter to Native people. So I'm doing a tour on October 15th in Providence, and tomorrow I'll find out if I go to New York City to get the grant for this. Oh, today's Tuesday. Yeah, I forgot. There's a lot going on. I forgot.
And a grandbaby on the way too. Speaking of the missing and murdered Indigenous women, there was a song that you wrote, didn't make it onto the CD. Did you want to share that with us today?
Sure, I'll sing it. I was just in the process of, Jarrell Jameson, I want to thank him. He's the one that introduced me to you.
Yes, we thank him too.
Incredible talent and beautiful spirited person. And so I wanted to thank him for introducing me to you. But he told me about, getting my CDs done. And while he was giving me the information, I said, let me get this done. And I had those songs already recorded, but I was in the process of writing this song, so I didn't put it on. But I'll sing it for you now if you'd like.
We'd love that.
Yes.
We are, hey yo. We are. Red is the color that spirit can see. Can you tell me, Great Spirit, can you find me? Way 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 hey yo. Yahweh, Yahweh, help bring them home. Get ye Manitou, help bring them home. I cry out for justice, my song is my prayer. Will never stop until all are aware that there's missing and murdered and two-spirit too. Children were stolen, sent to residential school. We are, hey yo. We are, hey yo. Get ye Manitou, help bring them home. Our native lives matter, our hearts on the ground. We never will stop searching till all have been found. Our natives' lives matter, our voice to be heard. Honor and respect is what we deserve. We are, hey yo. Yahweh, Yahweh, help bring them home. Red is the color that spirit can see. Can you tell me, Great Spirit, can you find me? Get ye Manitou, help bring them home. Yeah, that's the new song.
Wow. That's amazing. That was great.
Thank you. It's kind of sad, but it's what needs to be said.
Yes.
Indeed. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, thank you for sharing it with us. And I know that you'll be singing it for others, so that's really beautiful. Yeah, it's good work.
Thank you.
Rick, do you have any other questions for Deborah Spears Moorehead today?
I have a, what I want to say is you are so prolific in what you're doing with your art and music. I mean, you are living your art, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I have so much respect for you for that.
Thank you.
I'm impressed with what you do, and your voice is beautiful, by the way.
I appreciate that. I mean, I used to have a better voice. I had thyroid surgery. Now I have to sing at a really low place in my voice where I used to be able to sing a lot. I had more range in my voice, but you know, this isn't about. I just feel like it's more about putting a message out, not that other than. I try to be as aesthetically pleasing as possible, but most of my work is about a message and, you know, trying to push back on erasure and genocide. And people think I'm prolific, but I think I'm just passionate in my work. And so, you know, somebody that goes to work every day and whatever they do, they just they don't take it and display it. So I think a lot of people are doing just as much as I'm doing, but I look prolific because I just make prints and reproduce a lot of things. So it's just my passion, and people that are passionate, they just do a lot of what they like to do. And I'm sure you're prolific in what you like to do. So both of you, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he is.
incredible to have your own radio station.
Yeah, well, we really try to um, do as much as we can on this, weekly show, and highlight as many people, especially in the Northeast. We're a small community radio station, but we have, the ability to use some of the technology in a good way, and so we'll uh, put the podcast out and let other radio stations rebroadcast it. So your message will go out beyond the airwaves today. And so we're really grateful that you have taken the time on this very special day to talk to us and share your music and share the beautiful song. Is there anything in closing that you may want our listeners to take away from this conversation today?
Yeah. There's, a lot of people want to give land back to Native people. And I think a lot of Native people, we don't want land personally, but we like for the community, if they want to, help us in any way, then one, they could help us with land back through giving it to, I think there's a place like Ramona Peters, you can contact her. She has a nonprofit that just is for Indigenous people. The land goes back to Indigenous people, not to anyone personally. And if you could, our tribe, the Seekonk Pokanoket Wampanoag Tribal Nation, we don't have state recognition in Rhode Island, but we are from Rhode Island because Massasoit was born in Warren, Rhode Island, and that was our area, that was our homeland. So we need some help with being state recognized as the Seekonk Pokanoket, or just the Pokanoket in Rhode Island. And for our federal recognition, we're like the first tribe to be encountered, but we still are not federally recognized. So anything that anyone can help us with, that may send legal help or anything that they could do to help us get the federal recognition in the state recognition in Rhode Island and federal recognition. So they can contact me at dspearsmorehead@gmail.com or my Facebook Messenger, Debra Spears Morehead, if they can assist us in any way with that recognition.
That's great. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that information and your email. Rick, anything in closing?
I'm delighted to meet you today, Deborah. Thank you for being on the show, and I look forward to seeing more of your art and hearing more of your music.
I just want to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and exposure to radio stations to hear my music.